Yeah, absolutely. And a perfect segue. You are such a professional. Let's talk Brandon Aiyuk because I mean the reports coming out that he's a $30 million a year guy. That struck me. I didn't expect that. I can't
Yeah,
lie.
gee, Frank, the Amon-Ra deal wasn't factored into that one at
Yeah,
all, was it?
right. Like all of a sudden, like it changes the game for everybody. Look, we're taping this on Wednesday morning. Brandon Aiyuk might be with the Steelers or the 49ers or the Saskatchewan Roughriders by the afternoon. We don't know that. This story just keeps going on and on and on. What do we know right now? Tell me, why hasn't anything happened? I have my own opinions on this, but go ahead. What do you know? Brain dump for me, Brandon Aiyuk.
I think that the Niners they're pounding out the finite details, and I would percentage wise, and it's funny because when this will come out, I'll probably be totally wrong. I'll probably
Hey,
be
I'm wrong all the
literally
time. You're fine.
I will like
Trey Lance. Yeah.
hours 2 hours from now, I'll be standing on the field with the Steelers when they get the deal done to get Amon-Ra or to get Brandon Aiyuk on the roster. But I will just tell you, when I went through 49ers camp and Aiyuk was doing that thing where maybe he'd make an appearance in a shirt and shorts or whatever, all that stuff was going on. The sense I got, and what I would have told you on the podcast if we had talked early on in my camp tour, I would have said, I get the feeling the 49ers are going to let this play out to the point where eventually they're going to go, okay, see who's out there for you. Go ahead. Like, it's fine. See what teams are on the table for you. See where the finances are, because I think the 49ers knew the same thing that I think they understand the mindset of other teams. And it's that we don't really want to do a $30 million deal with Brandon Aiyuk either. However, we're desperate.
Amon-Ra St. Brown, yeah.
Right? Yeah, but Amon-Ra St. Brown, and that really, I think, threw a wrench in the negotiations with the Brandon Aiyuk. And so I think the idea was, will there be some teams that are desperate to add a wide receiver piece and they view him as a long-term cornerstone? Will they offer him 30 APY? Yes. Will the structure matter? Yes. Will the cash flow matter? Yes. There will be a lot of different, but what will the quality of those teams be, or the cities or the situations? What will those be? And could that potentially open another window for us with Brandon Aiyuk? I think that's how the 49ers were approaching this all along. And I think ultimately it played out the way that they thought. Okay, the Cleveland Browns, and I'm going to be careful how I put this. The Cleveland Browns definitely had a trade offer on the table that would clearly the San Francisco 49ers, it was in their wheelhouse in terms of what they wanted. They wanted a wide receiver back. I believe Amari Cooper would have gone to the San Francisco 49ers.
Which I think would be actually a pretty good deal for the 49ers.
Yeah. And I believe a second-round pick would have gone to the 49ers, and I believe a fifth-round pick would have gone to the 49ers. I believe that deal ultimately would have happened, and I think Aiyuk would have gotten his $30 million a season. I think that it was too rich for a team like the Patriots. I think the complication with the Steelers is the draft assets you have to send back, although clearly they've worked out a framework of enough of a package that it's kept the 49ers now engaged that, okay, the Steelers are a possibility. And then, there's this sort of the structure of the money. Will he get 30? Yeah, he can get 30, but what's the structure and cash flow going to look like? Once all this was laid on the table, then the 49ers are like, okay, so here's where we are. We're going to come closer to the number that you ultimately want. We know about the Amon-Ra deal, and you get to stay here. And we are in a Super Bowl window, and you are a massive part of that Super Bowl window. And although they can't say it, I think the reality is down the line, between Debo and Brandon Aiyuk, one of those guys is not going to be on the roster, let's say I'll say 2026, right?
Okay.
I think it'll probably be Debo, right? Debo's going to be the guy that they ultimately end up moving off of down the line. It may not happen after this year. I think it's more likely to happen after, say, a 2025 season. But I just think the 49ers are like, let's play this out. And with the knowledge that the coaching staff has handled this the right way. Every time Kyle has seen Brandon Aiyuk, hey, man, what's up, big dog? Hug, what's up? Hey, let's get you out. We'll get you out here. Let's keep working at this. Let's not abandon this. John Lynch, same deal. Like, it's not, there's not been bad blood. So, like, let's let it play out. And then put him in a situation where he's like, could I leave? Yes. Could I leave for an unfamiliar place? Yes. Could I leave for a quarterback situation that right now is completely jacked up in Pittsburgh? I'm with all due respect to what Justin Fields has shown, well, Russell Wilson's been down, but it's not a great quarterback situation there. There's familiarity. There's organizationally, the cards are stacked for San Francisco. And I think ultimately you're sitting there and you're looking at Aiyuk and saying, you're going to give it up for a mil and a half APY. And by the way, who's to say we can't adjust your deal in 2026 or 2025? Like, who's to say we can't give you a salary bump a little further down the line, or throw in an extra incentive or something that we can't work out something to help you get cash on the back end of this deal. So I think it's worked out the way the 49ers expected. I think personally, and I'm prepared to be completely wrong in this, and I hate making these proclamations, I would be more surprised if he's not a 49er by Friday, right? And that he's not staying there. But that to me is probably the rubber stamp that he's going to be a Steeler, and I'll literally be on the field today when it happens.
I think the big breakthrough here was that Aiyuk was getting these $30 million, whatever it is, and he wasn't necessarily jumping at it. It didn't get done. So that had to lead to 49ers to believe that this just isn't a money grab. Like, he does care about the situation. Right. He does ultimately want to be here. So Frank, if we come in at 29 or whatever,
Frank, let me tell you what this hold-in was, right? Mm-hmm. He kept going to all the meetings. Yeah. He wasn't just in the building with the 49ers. He was still going to everything. He was going to all the meetings. He was doing lift. He was doing, it was literally the only thing he wasn't doing was on the field. Because, some hold-ins, guys don't do anything.
Nothing.
They come in, they go, I'm hurt. I ain't going to class. I'm not going to be I'm in the building. I'm in the building.
College, we're not going to class.
I'll be sitting in my locker on my phone, whatever. No, he engaged. Went to every single thing. And when you go through there, you're like, isn't really, this feels more like just a big string of vet days than a hold.
Let me ask you one more question, because this has been on my mind. Maybe it just doesn't matter because the cap keeps going up and up. Can the 49ers afford this? They're paying so many guys right now and have to pay other guys that are coming up. Can the 49ers really afford to pay Brandon Aiyuk in the neighborhood of $30 million?
I mean, the Eagles are doing it somehow.
Yeah, I guess, that's true.
It's true. Although I told Jory Epstein, we were texting, kind of laughing about how he keeps doing this, and I'm like, I'm still 23% sure that Howie is running some kind of salary cap Ponzi scheme, and that in 2037 Howie's going to retire, and in 2038 there's going to be a $2.6 billion cap hit. There's some kind of
crazy. It's crazy that they're paying both guys and the quarterback.
Here's the thing though too, and this has nothing it is a complete aside to everything, but it is definitely a massive amount of talk in the league office with the union, all these different things. The 18th game is coming. It's one way or another, this is going to end up happening. They're going to opt out of their television deals. And already you've seen that the cap has been taking these big leaps every single year, but they're going to opt out of their television deals going into 2028. They're going to rework that deal. The salary cap is going to skyrocket after the next television deals that ultimately get run, as long as the economy isn't in the tank. But let's remember, the last time they hammered out a CBA and TV deals and all this stuff, COVID was going on. So it's the money is going up. Teams, is there a time where you got to pay the piper? Yeah, but so far, the Eagles are figuring out a way to deal with that window. The Niners will too. The rotation you will see, like the Eagles, is down the line. One half of the football, probably defense, I would guess. You'll see a big rotation to younger players, and they'll start to make some decisions where they're walking away from bigger contracts. But that's a few years off.
Yeah, it's certainly interesting, and we just both hope that this gets done. Hey, come on, let's be done with the Brandon Aiyuk drama, huh?